Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss how to access the metadata programmatically. So JPA has provided some APIs to access the metadata. So basically JPA provides way to access metadata, which is essentially the metadata about your persistent classes. There are two main ways to interact with the meta model. So the first one is dynamic meta model and the second one is the static meta model. So in dynamic meta model approach, which is very similar to Java reflection, where you can dynamically inspect the properties of your classes. That means the attributes, whatever you have created inside your classes, that you can access at runtime. And the second one is the static meta model. A set of classes is generated at compile time that represents the metadata of your entities. So you have an entity class. At the backend, when you build your application, a set of classes is generated, sources are generated inside your project. Through that you can access the metadata. So each of these I will explain with example. First we'll go with dynamic meta model. So here I have created a simple Spring Boot application accessing metadata at runtime. So I will go through each file. So in the pom.xml, what I have added, so in pom.xml I have as of now three dependencies. One is the Spring Boot starter data JPA. Since we will be using JPA, for that reason I have added this dependency. And the second one, Spring Boot starter. So this is the basic dependency required for a Spring Boot project. The second one, and the third one is the MySQL connector Java. So this is required because we need to communicate with the database as well. And the fourth one, which I have commented, I will remove it when we will do the example of static meta model. For dynamic, it is not required. For static, we will remove this comment and we'll see at that time. So basically the fourth one is used to generate the sources that is required for static meta model. So I will tell you later. So first we'll deal with this dynamic meta model. Okay, fine. So I have two entity classes, item and message, which is inside model, org example and model. So this is inside that. So this is the item entity. So in item I have two attributes, which is ID and name. So these are the two attributes I have. And in message, I have two attributes, which is ID and text. So what we'll do is we'll write code to retrieve the attributes as well as the entity names as well as the type of uh, attributes that is present in your entity class. Those things we can retrieve using the dynamic meta model. So this is basically metadata. This is all these things are whatever you are seeing. This is metadata of your classes. So those things we are going to retrieve. So JPA has provided some specification. Using that, we will be accessing or retrieving those details. Okay. So we will move to. So this is our main class. So simple Spring Boot application. I have a main method where I start the application, and I have a command line runner here. So here it is created command line runner. Okay. So whenever the application starts, the Spring Boot application starts, the command line runner will execute. So inside this, we will write our code. Okay. So let's start. So for that, what I need is entity manager factory dot get meta model. So this is how I got the meta model. Okay. Now what I will do is from the meta model, I will retrieve the manage types. So all these entities, I mean, all these entity classes, item and message, these are all managed types, right? So we'll retrieve those. So meta model dot get manage types. Fine. Okay. So I will, since this, so this manage type contains multiple entities, multiple manage types are there. So we will loop through each one and we'll print it in our console. Okay. Yeah, one more thing I forgot to show you, that is the application.properties file. Here I have configured simple thing like database URL, username, password, and also I have created DDL auto. I mean configured here because all the tables are created automatically in drop. So also I have enabled Spring JPA show. Okay. So these are things I have configured in our application.properties file. So I will write for so manage type dot get manage types. Okay, this metadata manage type manage type. Okay, okay. It's out. So here we will print the name, the entity name. So here is the entity. The name I will print here. Manage type dot get Java type get name. Okay, so this will print the name. Okay, so let's run this example. We'll see what it is printing. So it is starting. If you see here, these two lines it has printed. Okay, one is the item. Okay, so this is the one item. The other one is the message. Both are your entity. Okay, so that is how we are retrieving the metadata. Okay, so now retrieve the attributes as well. Okay, so inside 4 we will write another 4. Okay, to retrieve all the attributes of each entities. Managed type dot get attributes. Okay, so we'll have your attribute attribute. Okay, fine. So basically I will import the class. So this is provided by JPA. So I have to import those class. Okay, so right now I will just print all the attributes whatever I have. Okay, so I will print like this attribute and here I will print like this attribute dot get name. Also I can print the type as well. So this is very interesting. So we can access anything here. But the thing is we cannot modify those things. We just access it is read only. We just read, that's it. Attribute dot get Java type dot get name. Okay, let's run this one. So it is resolving dependency. Wait for a few seconds. Yeah, done. Now run. See here. So far we have retrieved the entity class name and their attributes. So these are the attributes. Okay. So attribute name is ID, type is long, attribute name is name, and type is string. So this is for item entity. And the other one is the message. For message we have ID and text and the types. ID is of type long and text is of type string. So those things we have retrieved. Okay. Now database. Okay. So message message dot set text equal to hello. We'll just save it to the database. Okay, and so we need entity manager. Get entity manager. Okay, entity manager. So entity manager get transaction dot begin. Okay, now we'll save it. Entity manager dot persist. The entity, which is message, then we'll commit it to entity manager dot get transaction dot commit. That's it. So this will save the message into the database. Okay. Now let's run this application. We'll see in the database. So just executing. If you see at the end, it is inserting something into the message table. Okay, insert into message text ID. Okay, we can also verify using our this one. Okay, so we'll go to, we'll just refresh the database. Okay, so my DB name is test. Okay, and after that select star from message. Okay, so if you can see here, it has one row which is ID and text of ID and text containing one and hello. Okay, so just now we have saved it. Okay, now we'll try to retrieve those things using criteria query. Okay, so we'll write a criteria query, entity manager factory dot get criteria builder. So this criteria builder. Okay, okay, so criteria builder. So next is we will criteria builder dot create query for our message dot class. Okay, this one is the query. Now query dot from message dot class. Okay, message root. So after that, query dot select message root, where we'll write criteria builder. Okay, dot equal message root dot get text, get text, which is equals to hello. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this will retrieve message from the database which is equals to hello. Okay, so now we'll print this message. Okay, I will tell you why I am writing all those things, why I'm writing the criteria builder. Okay, criteria query basically. So here entity manager dot create query, here is query, and one, and after that we'll just print it out. One dot get single result dot get text. Okay, let's run this one. Okay, if you see here, it has printed hello at the end. Okay, so far we have stored the message and we have retrieved it. Okay, so why I have written this criteria query builder, all those things. Okay, this is just to retrieve a message from the database. Okay, so if you see here, we have given the attribute name as text. Okay, and this text attribute resolved at the runtime, not at the compile time. Okay, suppose by mistakenly I had written like this text one. So this won't provide me the desired result, and at the compile time you won't see any error as well, because this text one attribute resolved at the runtime, not at the compile time. So any mistake you have done to the attribute won't be recognized at the compile time. Okay, so let's run this one. We'll see what exception you are getting. So you are getting the exception that, see this exception, unable to locate attribute with the given name text1. Okay, so this is one of the drawbacks of retrieving the metadata using this reflection API, not exactly the reflection API, the dynamic way of retrieving the meta model, which is very similar to reflection API. Okay. Now we have another approach, that is static meta model. In static meta model, you have one advantage, that at compile time, you will get to know the attribute name which you have provided, that is correct or wrong. That advantage we have in static meta model. Okay, for that, we need to add one more dependency to our pom.xml file. Okay, so before that, I will want to show you something. So if you see the target class, target folder here, go inside generated source. Annotation is there, but inside annotation you don't have anything. Okay, inside annotation folder you don't have anything. Okay, but now see, I will remove the comment from here and you will see the difference. Okay, I have removed it and I will do the Maven update. Okay, okay. Now I will go here. I will install it again. Okay, you will see something inside the annotation folder. Okay, so it is building. Let the build finish. Okay. Now see, the target folder is created. Okay, go inside the target folder. Go inside the generated sources. Now you see inside the annotations folder, you have org.example.model package, and inside that package you have two more files, which are item underscore and message underscore. What are these files? So these files are generated by this dependency. Okay. So if you go inside the entity, I mean the class, I mean the file, you will see something like this. Here you see the attributes names are there, but if you see the types of the attributes, it is different. Okay, but the names are very same. Okay, so what you can do is, the advantage of using the static way of accessing the metadata, I will show it here. So what we saw, that if we make any mistake to the attribute, we are getting exception, and the problem here is we don't have compile time warning or error if we make any mistake to this one, because this is just a hard coded one. Okay, it cannot be resolved at compile time, it is resolved at the runtime. Since we will be using this static way of accessing the metadata, we have one advantage here. So let's do that first. So I will comment it out. I will comment it out. Okay. So I will write like this. Okay. Query dot select. Okay. Message root. Sorry. Message root dot where. Okay. Criteria builder dot equal message root dot get message underscore. See, here we are writing message underscore. Okay. There we are not. Dot text. So this is the way we are accessing the attribute. Hello. Now do it here. Okay, now compare these two lines. Okay, almost everything is very similar. The only difference, if you see the attribute name, the way we have provided here. So before the attribute name, we have provided just hard coded one text. Okay, it was like this before, text it was. Okay, so if you write anything mistake also, you won't get any warning or error, because it cannot be recognized at the compile time. Okay, but here this is very typeset, because we have you have the message underscore and text. Okay, if you go inside it, click on it, go inside it, it is indicating to this attribute. Okay, so you cannot make any mistake here. Just writing text one, you will get compile time error. See, here you are getting cannot resolve this symbol. So that is the benefit of using the static way of retrieving metadata. Okay, now we'll run it and we'll print it. Hmm. See here, it has printed hello. So this is all about accessing metadata using JPA. So these are the two way you can retrieve the metadata. You can retrieve the entity class name, the attributes name, the type of attribute, all those things you can retrieve using this API. Okay. So I have attached the source code to the Git repository. Also, I provided the link in the description. If you want, you can use it. That's all. Thank you all.